So I thought we'd have a little chicken curry today.
Good. Nice.
I've already chopped it up because I was going to let you do it, but
Yeah, good idea. But
yes.
Talk me through chicken.
Chicken breast, hang on, chicken breast with no skin and no bone, and it's cut really thin. Because what we're going to do is we're going to chuck all this together. This is a super fast one. Like, there's no mucking about here. I know you're a bit of a playboy, so like, and you haven't got time to cook. So,
I was about to say, invariably, I would spend a half a day on a slow cooked curry like that.
Yeah, this is not a slow cook. This is like wham bam, thank you.
Well, I see that we've got coconut milk.
Bit of coconut milk, which you're going to add in the end. So, okay, right, chicken breast,
sliced.
no skin, no bone, onion chopped, tomato.
Let me take over.
Okay.
Cumin seeds.
Correct.
Chili, dried.
Yep.
Turmeric.
Yes.
Chili. Garlic, ginger paste.
Wow. Yes.
We've got garam masala.
No.
No.
Cumin.
Cumin. Chili powder.
Yeah.
Coriander
powder.
Coriander.
Or cilantro.
Yes,
That's what the Americans call it, don't they? And then we've got salt and we've got some oil there. The oil's going to kind of just get it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the coconut and remove these, okay? And then all of that we're going to chuck in a bowl.
Which goes in first?
Everything. The whole lot goes in and we're going to mix it up.
So straight in.
I'm just going to grab a bowl here. There you go. And then what I want you to do is put it all in there. The whole lot. Everything in. Give me this stuff as you've finised.
All right.
Right, so chicken in.
Everything in?
Doesn't matter what order. Doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, but don't put the onions in. Oh, no. Yeah. There you go. All in.
Nice tomatoes. Juice.
Ripe tomatoes at work.
Everything. You're sure
Everything. It doesn't matter what order. I'm just going to grab a spoon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Delia would be very upset.
She'd be doing a nut, wouldn't she? Oil. Yep. That's going to, like I said, that's going to kind of bring it all together.
Absolutely.
Garlic ginger paste.
One of my favourites. Beauty.
Chili and coriander. You can just use curry powder if you want, but we use these four. I always call it the big four.
Yeah. Classic in any curries.
Use that.
Although to call it a curry would be incorrect, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it can be, can't it?
Salt?
That's salt, yeah.
Well, curry's generic, really.
It is very generic. Right, all you need to do now is mix that up.
Oh, I was going to get my hands in.
Please don't do that. People might be watching this.
That's already a beautiful dish.
Now, what you can do, like if you're not in a rush, you can just stick that in the fridge for a couple of hours. But we haven't got time for that, so we're going to go straight in. Right, you've done it. Right, that's it.
Nice one.
Let's get over to the cooker.
Simon, talk to me about this. This is a curious piece.
Okay, so yeah, I get lots of comments about this because this underneath it is electric, and I hate cooking on electric. Like, I can't stand it.
I'm with you.
So I've got one of these, and it's portable. They're really cheap. It's a one ring, as you can see, and it goes into like a really massive gas bottle over there, and it's powerful. It's really, really powerful. So
hence the one dish food.
Well,
You've got one ring.
Yeah, I mean, I can only cook one dish at a time, can't I? So it's. Well, anyway, let's go. So look, let's get the heat on, and what we've got in here, because you're going to do this, not me.
I'm on.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of oil in there.
Yep.
And first, you're going to drop in the cumin seeds and the dried chili.
Okay.
Drop that in now.
Are we warm enough?
He's doing it. He's doing it. Let's go. Okay, now get your spoon. And what you need to do now is just keep it in there a little bit.
I expected a bit of a fizz and a crackle.
It will, don't worry, it will. And what we're doing here is we're infusing the oil.
Got you.
So never skip this bit. Never skip this bit. It's really important.
This is why we kept the cumin seeds and the chili out of
that. Yes.
I'm all over.
He's a clever boy. Okay, you're good. Now, drop all of your mixture in, the whole lot in.
All of it?
The whole lot, just get it all in there.
There we go. That's more like it. That's the sound I was anticipating.
And then back to your old wooden spoon. Give that a mix. We're on quite a high heat. I'm just going to grab a...
It's going already. I like this.
All you got to do now is pop a lid on it.
I haven't finished stirring yet.
Okay, we'll stir it up a bit more if you want.
I'm enjoying this.
Feel happy? Lid.
Perfectly happy.
Lid on. I don't think that actually fits that exactly, but lid on.
Fits.
Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to leave that
How long?
6-7 minutes. and I'm not joking, in 7 minutes you're going to have an amazing curry.
7 minutes?
In 7 minutes you're going to have an amazing curry done. So
You're not going to poison me?
I didn't guarantee that. That was in the contract. So, yeah, 7 minutes, 7, and it's done. You can give it a stir if you like every now and then.
I want a little peek.
Okay.
Oh, it's smelling delicious already. I mean, obviously I'm not going to eat it.
You're not going to eat it.
Uncooked chicken. At the moment, I promise I'll eat it later. I'm looking forward to it.
And that's why we cut the chicken really thin. So it cooks really well.
Okay, I understand that now.
I don't muck about with it, you'll ruin it.
All right, I'm off.
Right, so we've got 6 minutes to go now. Let's have a cup of tea. You want a cup of tea?
Lovely cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
So,
Yeah, but 7 minutes is up now. Have a look.
whoa, it's looking gorgeous.
Okay, now what you want to do, we're just going to turn the heat down a little bit. Now just pop in a little bit of that coconut milk. You don't need loads, you don't need all that, you just need a little bit. Enough. Stir that around.
That's starting to look gorgeous. I'm going to replicate this at home
I hope so.
and tell my kids that I cooked it.
Do you know what you're going to do now? Turn the heat off. It's done.
That's done.
It's done. No joke. Let's go and sit down and eat it.
Look at that. That's going to be delicious. It smells beautiful.
That's it. Let's do it.
Simon, talk me through what you got. Curry, rice.
Yeah, and then I've got some paratha, a little bit of paratha there, which is, you know, just cucumber, and a little salad.
Nice.
I didn't want to spoil you. I didn't want to do too much. You don't deserve it.
A million miles away from the food of my youth.
Mine as well. Right, should we get tucked in?
Let's do it. So,
Don't be shy, mate. Don't be shy.
Thank
First of
you.
all, you should have a little taste of your...
yeah, I think so.
You should just have a little spoonful. 7 minutes.
Oh, man, that's delicious. That really is. I would cook my curry for hours and hours in order to get that. Mind it remains to be seen how the chicken is.
I'm telling you, it's cooked. I'm telling you. Right, do you want some rice?
Yes, please.
Get in there.
Thank you.
I'm not a big rice fan. You know, I prefer bread, like the paratha,
Well,
roti.
I didn't have to choose, did I? Rice or bread.
It's one or the other. You can't.
In which case, I'm getting mine now.
Dearie me, dearie me. So yeah, I just prefer a bit of curry. I'm going in before you because it's my house. Oi, 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 oi.
I'm having it.
Bit of that. And then I'm going to go in with my hand.
You can always come back, you know,
I know that you might eat all of it though.
as my old mother would say.
Yeah.
Salad,
See that do me, that's good.
always.
Salad always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a kind of eating with my hands. Definitely. That's all right.
I'm going with the fork.
You're more English than me, I think.
Oh, that's delicious.
Now,
Beautiful.
what's amazing, I'm a big curry fan. But I don't know about you, but...
Oh, I love curry.
Well,
It's an English mainstay.
But I didn't eat curry as a kid. I don't think I ate curry until I was like 16 or 17. Like in Indian food, basically.
We used to have the 70s Vesta curry.
Now look, do you know Vesta's still about?
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's lost its kind of appeal a bit, but it's still about.
I'm going to find some.
You can still buy Vesta. But we used to have Chinese curry. But when I was a kid, we had like fish and chips, pie and mash. Yeah, and Chinese
Traditional
food.
stuff.
Chinese
Chinese
food.
food isn't traditional
And
stuff.
we'd have Chinese. Well, it is traditional in England now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, especially in London. But
Well, I grew up in a rural community, so it was meat and 2 veg, meat and 3 veg. And then, of course, there was pasties and orts.
But did you have a local curry house or a local Chinese?
We had local Chinese when I was about 11 years old, I suppose. It was quite a schlep across the moor to get to it.
But was it a big
That
deal?
was a-
Did you eat
that
it? I
was
mean,
a
was it?
that was a big
It
deal.
was a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't real Chinese food, was it? It was anglicised
Yeah.
Chinese food
Well,
for the Western palate.
well, I can tell you a little bit about that because I've spent a bit of time, not long, in China,
Okay.
and the food is bloody awful. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not what we eat at all.
It's still alive.
I mean, it's just nothing like what we eat in the UK. Nothing. Like, you know, like it sort of say on the menu, chicken head in lard. It's like, you don't need to tell us that, do you? You don't need to tell us that.
Well,
bit.
maybe that's because
But-
they're writing the English translation.
Well, you know, like, well, Indian food, for example, when you go to a curry house, it's fairly similar to what you'll get in India. But the Chinese food I had, and I went to several places, was nothing like the Chinese food we have. Nothing at all.
Although certainly when I was travelling around India, it was very difficult to lay your hands on a meat curry.
Ah,
It was all vegetables. I mean, and more power to them. I rather enjoyed it, but we had to really hunt hard for a chicken, and it came at a premium.
when we was in India, was you a young hippie guy, or was it?
No, I'd been teaching in the Far East, and it was my 8-week summer holiday. So I just did very much the Golden Triangle: Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, and then I headed off towards Jaisalmer. Beautiful, beautiful.
Amazing country.
But then, of course, I only did a tiny little bit of it.
Yeah,
in
and
8
it's
weeks.
enormous, isn't it?
Oh, and we went to Udaipur. It was beautiful. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
not going
very
to sleep
much.
with you. Well, maybe.
In which case, I'm out.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. So you grew up
In Devon.
in Devon,
Yeah,
down in the West Country.
Southwest, yeah.
And that's kind of one of the reasons that I've got you here actually today.
What?
I want to talk about- I want to talk about
the,
Devon.
The curry is a mainstay of Southwest traditional cooking.
No, I want to talk to you about the Cornish pasty
Don't
from
get
Cornwall.
me started.
See, I knew I'd get you.
There's
Now-
so much gumph
Now, before,
spoken about pasta.
before we get started on it, because I know you're going to rant, okay, let's tell people what a pasty is. People that don't know what a pasty is, what is one?
A pasty, and there's a lot of gumph spoken about pasties. I'm really quite relaxed about the whole concept of the Cornish pasty.
We'll see.
But a pasty is traditionally a parcel of pastry, and inside it, it's potato, meat, turnip, lots of pepper, and it's sealed up. It's either lazily flopped over into a semicircle and crimped or sealed on the edge. if
You're
it's a
starting
Cornish
already, aren't
pasty, yeah. Or if it's a Devon pasty, it is rather more artfully lifted
Yeah.
into more of an oval, and it is beautifully crimped across the top. You then put that in the oven, let it cook. It cooks in its little pastry parcel, and when it comes out, it is beautiful.
So it's a meat pie.
It's a meat pie.
You could have just said
It
that,
is a
couldn't you?
meat
You
pie.
could have just
It's
said
a
meat
and
pie.
vegetable pie. Although, when I was having pasties, when we were kids, it could be anything. There's a lot of purists who will talk about it should only be skirt of beef, it should only be potatoes and turnip or swede. But in actual fact, in Devon, we have a meal called orts. Orts is just leftovers. So after your Sunday roast,
Yeah.
my old mum would chop everything up, she'd make some pastry, and then she would make pasties.
Okay, so anything you like.
Yeah.
Now, look, tell me about this. Is this true or not? I've heard about the miners used to hold the crust or something because their hands were dirty, and then
Oh, I don't know.
it had like some fruit or jam or something at
No,
one end or something.
That's preposterous.
that
There was
just rubbish?
never jam at one end and meat and vegetables at the other end. That's a absolute lie. And sure enough, the Cornish tin miners certainly made it their own. But there's even those that would say that the pasty is a Devon delicacy. In fact, I think I'm right in saying that in the 15th century, there was a recipe they found maybe a decade ago that is the first known recipe for a Devon pasty, and it comes from this side of the Tamar. So don't you go listening to any Cornish pixies telling you that the pasty is Cornish. I didn't know I felt so strongly about it.
You do, don't you?
I do. Well, there's even a romantic notion that the Cornish tin miner spread the Cornish pasty around the world, and I know that in Mexico, the empanada is a Cornish import. But let's face it, it's.
I think that's rubbish.
It's not.
I'm not buying that one.
Be a surprise to anybody that you're going to make a parcel of pastry
Gonna make
and
a
then
pie.
throw some whatever you've got in it.
And they made really small ones, didn't they, in Mexico?
Yeah, didn't they? They're only very small people.
Yeah. Is that because they're small people? Okay.
There's also a wonderful tale of, I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 2009, something like that. But in the World Cornish, best in the world ever Cornish pasty
Can I just stop you
competition.
there? You know when you say the best in the world, you just mean the best in the West Country,
The
don't you?
best in the West
'Cause
Country.
no one else.
It was supposed to be a Cornish competition for Cornish people, and they were going to find the best Cornish pasty, and a couple of bays, some bakers
Yep.
from near Exeter turned up, and based on a loophole in the rules, they managed to enter, and they walked away with a prize. They had to be escorted from the ground because they thought there was going to be a lynching.
You do feel passionate
I do,
about this,
don't I?
don't you, Richard? You
I
really
didn't
do.
mean to.
You really do. I love it.
This is delicious, by the way.
Thanks, man. Now, look, tell me more about Devon. What other foods you got coming from down there?
Devon, the sunniest place this side of heaven. Cream teas.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
rather walked into that one.
you need to explain what a cream tea is.
Right, a scone or scone,
Yeah.
depending
What
on
do
where
you say?
come from. I really don't mind. Sometimes I'll say scone, sometimes I'll say scone. I'm not even sure which is the local pronunciation.
Okay.
So you got yourself
You're
a
too
scone.
focused on
Yeah.
pasties.
And you get yourself the cream,
Yep.
and you get some beautiful jam, and with a pot of tea, and of course the big debate, which rages online, is whether you put the cream on first,
Yeah.
which is evidently right because it's a substitute
Because
for
it's
the
from
butter.
Devon.
The clotted cream from Devon,
Okay.
not Rodders from Cornwall.
Yeah.
Clotted cream on, and then the jam, just a little bit of jam goes on top with a pot of tea. That is beautiful.
And is that a West Country thing? That's not.
It is well, I don't.
Because if you go down to like Sussex and Kent and all that, you
I'm
get.
sure that
you
they got
get,
cream, but
Yeah.
they
But,
made it their own.
it is a West Country thing. It's not. It's not just an English thing.
Well, the long-raging argument, is between Devon and Cornwall. My brother married a Devon boy, married a Cornish girl, and they bait each other with this one all the time. And it doesn't really matter, because whether you put the cream on first and the jam on second, the Devon way, or you put the jam on first, then the cream on top, the Cornish way, it's still essentially scone, cream, jam.
You just don't like people from Cornwall.
That's essentially what it is.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. So anything they do, you say you done
No.
it first and better.
I love Cornwall. In fact, my wife's family are Cornish.
That's grounds for divorce immediately, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could always use that one, couldn't you?
We avoid the topic of pasties and cream teas.
I didn't realise there was such a thing going on about it.
Well, I think that really we should feel sorry for the Cornish, because I imagine that they're putting the cream on top, just a tiny little dollop,
Yeah.
because they can't afford a lot
Oh, they're
of
poor
cream.
people, are they? Is that
They
right?
are,
They're the
yeah.
underclass. Is that what it is? Yeah?
I didn't say that, but now you
Well,
mention it.
you can, can't you, now? I've said it.
okay.
Here you go. Just queued you up there. So, okay, we've done Devon and Cornwall and the fact that you hate each other. Okay. I mean, I've only been down there like holidays, every now and then.
Yeah, the
And I've
Grockles, the Grockles or the Emmets.
I don't even know really when I'm in Devon or Cornwall, really. It's like... Cornwall's the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like the very last. And then there's Devon, and then... Is it Somerset?
Somerset.
And you start
bit of
getting
Dorset,
towards... Yeah.
Wiltshire.
Okay.
Hampshire.
You start getting up there, mate. Yeah, I was more of a Benidorm boy myself,
Yeah.
the south of Spain. So we've done your hatred for everything Cornish.
I feel I've misrepresented myself.
I think that this is going to be broadcast live, and you're going to get a lot of hate mail. That's what I think.
That's my last holiday in Padstow, isn't it?
I see. You won't be staying there again. And you've got, in fact, talking of Padstow, haven't you got a couple of like really fancy restaurants down there? Hasn't like some famous chefs got?
They call it Padstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's rather taken over the place. Although, let's face it, it was probably due a saving. My wife has family who worked in shops during in Padstow, and some seasons they didn't make enough money to really see them through the winter. So sometimes it was really treacherous getting through the winter. But once Rick Stein put Padstow on the map,
and what's his place called?
Steins, I think.
It's just called Steins.
Yeah. I think it's called Stein.
One of them have just been sold. There's been quite a famous restaurant.
There's Paul Ainsworth as well, isn't there?
Okay, yeah.
But Rick Stein, of course, started out as a bouncer at the Puffin nightclub.
And there's no way he was ever a bouncer.
He was a bouncer at the Puffin nightclub.
I was just about to
so
say.
my Uncle Jeffrey tells me.
I was just about to say.
And he made me no liar.
Sorry, what language was that?
He made me no liar.
But I was just about to say, he's such a... I love watching him. I love the sort of documentaries where he's sort of going around, because he's just really pleasant and nice. So when you said he's a bouncer, I'm just like, I can't imagine that. Could be a bouncer.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
He's a big lad, but he just doesn't seem like he would knock your lights out.
Well, he's bigger than your average Cornishman.
Oh, because they're all small, aren't they? They sent that secret recipe over to Mexico to make mini secret... Yeah? Okay, I get you. Right, so okay, you're based in London.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love London because... there's some reasons why I don't love London. But I love it, man, because we have just got so much food. So much.
From all over the world.
From all over the world, yeah. So, I mean, where's your favourite area to go? What are you into?
In terms of food?
I heard there's a great Cornish restaurant.
Best Cornish pasty company. My favourite restaurant is Chez Lindsay, a Breton restaurant down at Richmond.
Which is you're from down that way, aren't you?
We're from down that way. Because it's closer to the southwest London. You see, you get on the A3 one.
Straight down to get those pasties. That's right, yeah.
And it's a beautiful old Breton restaurant in the family for decades, I think, would be right to say. And it's just beautiful food.
Where else? There's got to be more than one place. Or do you like sort of I love going to Chinatown, for example, because I just like the smells of everything while I'm there. And it's a bit touristy, but I just love the smells of all the restaurants and the ducks hanging in the windows and a few drunks later on.
I'm probably more of a booze hunter. I would go to Gordon's Wine Bar down De Villiers Street,
right,
which is the oldest wine bar in London, I think, because it's deep down under, or the Cork and Bottle on Leicester Square for good wine, good solid grub. I think they do pasties, certainly do pork pies.
Okay.
And Scotch eggs.
Ah,
that's what
British.
I want.
Very British.
Yeah, very British.
Very
but
British.
really, I'll eat anywhere in London, because there's always somewhere new to find, isn't there? There's always something to explore. I love the South Bank, and there's always somewhere around there to eat.
I mean, I remember the first time, because like I said, I just didn't eat Indian food until I was an adult, I don't think. And I remember finding Drummond Street, you know, in Houston. There's one street there, Drummond Street, and it's just got like 6 or 7 dosa places. So they're all vegetarian dosas, and I was just like, what the is this? Like, it just blew my mind.
There's a beautiful Indian curry in Tooting Bec. It's all vegetarian. Their tomato curry is absolutely sublime.
Tooting, South London.
Yes,
makes sense.
It's nearer.
That's near me. But yeah, Tooting Bec, Tooting Broadway down there. I mean, there's a massive Indian community there. And the other thing that a lot of people say Indian food. We're going to go for some Indian food. Depends where you are in the UK, because you know, like, mostly, I think, when you eat Indian food in London, it's Bengali food. And I think in like Leicester, for example, or something like that, it might be Pakistani or something like that. but you know it changes. But it's rarely Indian.
Mm. Well,
So
I
it's-
really like Carolan food with the coconut milk and the coconuts in it.
Yeah.
And lots of shellfish, and I think that's beautiful.
I've never been to Kerala, but it's meant to be stunning.
No, I
like,
haven't.
there's just
My wife has.
loads of amazing waterways and sort of stuff like that. It's
And
meant
I've
to
met
be.
a lot of people living in London from Kerala. I think it
Yeah.
was one of the world's first communist states.
It's still communist now.
Hmm.
It's still communist. I only found that out recently because of the COVID thing, because they've actually done really well with it, because they just got really sort of communist about it. So it actually didn't spread, and sort of, and there was a lot of kind of socialist kind of things happening, and the rest of the places went to part capitalist.
Yeah.
But it done really well there. So yeah,
That makes sense.
long live the revolution.
Comrade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, are we done here, or are you going to have some more?
I'm going to have some more.
Yeah, me too. Let's get in. Okay. So when you was a kid growing up, what was like a good thing to eat? Like for me, like a home thing. Like for me, my mum's egg and chips was stunning.
Now you're talking real.
And I don't know how she done it, because she used to just, she'd be sort of just talking to someone else, and she could flip an egg with a knife like that. She'd be talking to someone else, and and she'd just be flipping it. Never broke one ever. I've never seen her break an egg.
Basting it or
No, she'd flip it. She'd just get hold of it with a knife like that and just pop. And she used to make these chips. So of course, chips. When I say chips, I mean fries. To all you lot that don't understand that.
You mean real chips?
Yeah, like
in the
potatoes.
fryer.
Yeah, potatoes, right? And then but they'd be really like sharp at one end. Like, you could like dig them into someone, and fat, you know, in the middle. And I think they were nice because she used to cook them in lard, which is just beef fat.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Beautiful.
went out of fashion,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Not allowed to eat that anymore.
But yeah, that was my thing. So what was your kind of egg and chips thing?
Well, I want to ask you, what's the best fried egg? Is it sunny side up, over easy, hard in the middle?
Right, okay, so you've got me in now. I'm sorry that you're eating, right? Sunny side up egg is disgusting.
Well,
It's snot.
yeah,
It's disgusting.
it is, isn't it?
It's just like that white. It's just, if it's not cooked, it's just like eating some snot.
And it's got to have a lot of salt and pepper. in
Yeah.
it.
So I definitely flip mine over. I don't mind if the yolk's a little bit easy, but the white,
That's
oh
the best.
God, I feel
That's
sick
the best.
saying
It's
it.
got to run
Yeah.
when you cut into it.
But go on, tell me, what was good for you?
For us, coming from Devon, I think it was probably my mother's Lancashire hot pot. Gorgeous. Little bombs of taste.
Yeah.
In fact, it's responsible for one of my favourite memories. We were sitting round the table by our Arga, and I got a bit of this meat and this potato on there, and I aimed it at my sister, and she said to me, "You wouldn't dare." At which point, of course, that's a red rag to a bull,
You just went for it.
and it got her a solid, hot, sticky glob right in her eye socket. I didn't sit down for a week. It was so painful, but it was worth it.
Well, you got a proper good eye then.
Mm.
Good. So Lancashire hot pot. I thought you were going to say roast Cornishman.
It was Cornishman. My mother used to bake on a Monday. So we'd all go off to school and we'd come back and the house would be absolutely filled with beautiful smiles when we came back. There was bread, there was probably scones, there was, they call them cinnabons now, but they were Chelsea buns.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful. You always guaranteed you come home from school on a Monday evening, up the hill, up onto Dartmoor, in the driving wind and rain, but there was always something delicious to eat on a Monday afternoon. Loved it.
You sound like you come from a lovely household. Sounds good.
It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a lot of love.
A lot of love.
Yeah.
That's what you need. A lot of love. Now tell me, as you've grown up, you've got into being vegetarian and vegan like everyone else has.
Well, this isn't.
This is definitely not. But what do you think of being vegetarian and vegan? Have you kind of gone with it? How's the household? Because you've got a couple of kids, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've gone with it, I think, in part because my eldest daughter makes a really compelling case for vegetarianism.
Okay.
And she flirts with veganism. And I've got to admit, as long as you're not trying to find a substitute for that meat taste,
Right.
which is strikes me a bit of you're on a bit of a hiding to nowhere, because you're always going to want to get back to the genuine taste of meat. But I think it's absolutely wonderful. My daughter will make a black bean burger that's every bit as gorgeous as a Wagyu beef burger. Absolutely lovely stuff.
You're now talking rubbish.
No, I'm not. So I'm a big fan of vegetarianism, and I have no doubt it's got to be the future, because we probably cannot sustain our.
I think we're pretty much running out of land, and we grow quite a lot of corn that we don't feed us with. We feed cattle with and stuff like that. There's it's also the health thing, because
Well, none of us
you know
getting
you've
any
got
younger.
swine flu. We've had swine flu, haven't we? Bird flu. There was a camel flu. I've never heard of celery virus, or do you know what I mean? COVID lettuce.
But then shouldn't my youngest put it best when she explained that this whole problem could be sorted out
Yeah.
if you just said, stop eating weird shit. There's nothing odd about,
Yeah, but how do you define weird shit?
well,
Because when I was in China, like I said, they weren't eating weird shit. I thought they were, but they didn't think they were. They loved it.
Good point.
They loved it. So how do you define it?
Valid point. Well, I wouldn't. Probably based on my rural Devon palate.
Of double pasty.
Double pasty with the pasty pudding. Actually, the whole notion of putting jam in a pasty, whilst it's preposterous, sounds quite nice, doesn't it? Essentially, just like a closed jam tart.
Sounds good if it come from Cornwall. Because I just like the way that they really skillfully fold it over.
Lollop it over and
just-
press it down around
No,
it.
there's crimping. It's crimping. It's not just... You're just a racist. You're a Cornish racist. Right, so tell me about this COVID. How's it been affecting you?
Well,
It's been bloody awful, hasn't it?
I know that that's received wisdom, but in actual fact, my wife and I have been working from home. The kids have been there, of course. It's been
You liked it?
really great fun. I've not enjoyed the work because I teach. And in actual fact, once upon a time, I did think that the future of education was probably a hybrid of online learning and sometimes meeting up with your class.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, this period of enforced lockdown and interfacing with your class online has really taught me that there is no substitute for interfacing in real life
Yeah.
with the people that you...
We should maybe point out to people watching this that you're a teacher.
Yeah, it's worth remembering. But no, it's been lovely. Working with my wife in the same room, I thought we might murder each other, but in actual fact, the opposite has been true. We've fallen in love with each other all over again.
That's great news, man.
Who
My
would have
wife
thunk
hates
it?
me. So, I'm done, mate. I can't eat anymore.
No, I'm done.
I'm done.
Well, can I put that in a bag?
What, in a bag or?
Doggy bag.
Not nice in a
I'm
bag.
going to make that.
Well, I hope you make it. That's the thing. I
That
mean,
was the easiest curry
exactly.
I've ever seen
Now,
made.
just before we go, I just want to talk to you about cooking. Is that people can't bloody cook. Like, I'm amazed that people. I mean, I'm really pleased that I get loads of loads of views and sort of comments from people. But it amazes me that people just can't cook.
It's because they're not expected to cook. I told you, didn't I? My daughter said to me recently, Daddy, there's no food in the house, there's just ingredients.
That's brilliant.
Because she wouldn't, maybe it's my fault, I should give her a knife and let her start chopping stuff instead of doing it all. But nobody knows how to simply
Can't
chop an onion.
Yeah. It's them days have gone. But I need to come back, man. I need to come back. But
Gladly,
Look.
especially if you feed me like that.
I think you can come here anytime you want. Richard,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Sam.
It's
Nice to
always a
meet you.
pleasure to see you. Never a chore. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Right.
Oh, in fact, I'll see you next week, I think.
I'm off to Cornwall.
I'm off straight down to Cornwall, buy property and build a wall in front of Devon. See you later, mate. Cheers.
Take care.